Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh god, those lines are so clean. I freaking love it. Hey guys, it's Sturdy Wolf, and today we're going to be talking about some custom shoes, how we do it, and what the process looks like. Let's talk about what I did first. So the first thing that I did was just go ahead and draw the sketch on the shoe. Pretty classic. If you're using paint airbrush, make sure to tape stuff off. That's going to be really, really important. I was painting by hand with little markers, so I didn't need to take things off until the finisher, which we'll talk about in a minute. I sketched off each of these characters from Helltaker and then proceeded to paint them. And the painting process would look like using these Posca markers to fill in sort of the general area. And then I would hide my mistakes by using line art. So worked out pretty well in my favor, thank God. So what about these Posca markers? So these Posca markers are really good for fabrics like canvas, thin canvases like Vans and Air Force Ones. And they're really good for leather, which is super duper awesome because not a whole lot of stuff can stain leather as well as these paints. So these things will stain your leather for a really long time. So I painted on Nike Blazer mids, sketches. So that's why the check mark looks like this. I didn't actually do that. High tops, pretty good for full-blown characters. I suggest trying to use like the whole shoe. I didn't really do that with one of my shoes. The other shoe though, with the smoke, I actually did a pretty good job as far as like covering some of the shoe. Other one, I didn't do such a good job. I just kind of ignored that area. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I'd rather have less than overwhelm. So that was kind of my thought process on that. So we sketched it, painted it in, line arted it. So what do we do when we have roughly a finished product? Or actually, let me talk about paints first. So a lot of people swear by Angelus, and I don't blame them. They make some really good paint, especially if you're airbrushing, and they make some good finishers too. Constantly out of stock. So if you live in the area, then good for you. I don't, so not good for me. So that's why I use these Posca markers. They're great fill-in, and they are very expensive. Let me warn you, these things are like $4 a piece, and these are only the 0.7 millimeters. The 0.5, I think they are 0.3 are $10 a piece. So if you want to get really, really detailed with your art, it's gonna cost a pretty penny. Which sucks because those are harder to draw too, and you're gonna be charged more for it. But yeah, I mean, you're probably selling your shoe for a lot. I did these for myself. These aren't like, I'm not trying to sell these things. I think they're pretty cool. I don't know if I'm gonna actually wear them. Probably not, because I don't want somebody to like step down the side and me be like, crap, there goes 23 hours of work. We sketched, painted. Paint's expensive. Angelus or Poscos, or use them in tandem. They're pretty cool. They work together. Leather, pretty much any surface on a shoe, you'll be fine to paint over. So for the last step, I would say finisher. Actually, before I finished, I went over all of my paint again, just to make them have like full rich colors, which is kind of what came through. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So then after I added a second layer of paint, I prepped it for the finishing. So finishing consists of using some matte finish. I just use this brand. I'll link it in the description if anybody wants to use a specific one. Not a fancy kind, definitely not. You only want to do like 2 coats because that stuff will start to crack up your shoe if you put more than 2 coats on it. Warning, you want to go like 4 or something, really risking it. I did 2 really thin coats and it's fine, scratch proof, stuff like that. Not like deep tears, because nothing's gonna protect you from that. Like if somebody just slams down the side of your shoe, it's gone. It always has been. What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to tape off anything you don't want to finish. And, well, what do we not want to finish? Anything like this felt shoelaces. I took my shoelaces out. I stuck a paper towel inside the midsole, and then, I stuck it on the tongue. Around the top, we have a little thin layer of fabric, so I just taped around that too. Back, I had felt too, so I just taped down this too. Use tape and an X-Acto knife. I forgot to mention that. But you want to just kind of slap tape over the whole thing, X-Acto knife it down so that you know that it's covering exactly the felt area or the sole. I like to cover the sole. Some people like to just spray the sole. I don't. You only really need to paint, or you only need to really do it on the painted side, but I did it on every side, and especially if you choose not matte, like some acrylic ones that like get shiny and stuff, you want to cover the whole shoe, or else it's gonna look really weird and people are gonna ask you. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the basics. That's what I did. Came out fine, no scratch issues. I scratched a couple times, it's fine. Posco pens, pretty fire. I enjoyed them. Sketching took probably 4 hours. Painting took probably 11? I think if I was just doing like airbrush designs, or if I was doing like stencils, it'd be really fast. But doing characters is super duper time consuming. Like all those really cool shoes that are totally covered in paint. Yeah, airbrush. Those things are so easy to use. No cap. No, I'm just kidding. I'm capping. It's really hard to use airbrushes. Tape for airbrushes. Sketches for paintbrushes. Tape for finishing. And then I think you're all set. I think that's all you need to really do. It's all I can really think of. That's pretty much everything I did. A lot of people like to put scratch resistant stuff on it. I think what I might do is add a water repellent. It's probably like against the Bible of painting shoes, but I literally don't care. I probably will, just because if I spilled something on it, that would like just make me so sad. Art styles, so you got airbrush, you have stencils, and then you have hydro dipping and tie-dyeing. I have no idea how tie-dyeing works, but I do know how hydro dipping works. So what you want to do is you want to get a tub of water, just any bucket, any popcorn bowl, just fill it with water, spray paint onto the water surface. Then it'll create like this film of paint, and then you want to spray different colors, and then create kind of like a weird design that you're expecting. Tape off anything you do not want to get caught by this thing, because it will suck into your shoe. So you need to tape off everything you don't want to get hydro dipped. Now it's going to get wet. Everything underneath the tape is going to get wet, but it's not going to get hydro dipped, which is the pivotal part. Yeah, hydro dips can look really cool. They're really easy too, so why not? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching all the way through. If you like the channel, subscribe. If you like the content, give it a like. If you have questions, anything like that, leave a comment. I get back to those. We on that, no lacking. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.